Hello, everyone. This is Ruth Hansten, and we are going to be talking about the very last of the 7 C's of resilience, and it's comic relief. Despite the fact that we are dealing with untold issues in our country, that we have not only COVID, but we also have to worry about there's flooding, there's fires. We're in the midst of those right now. We have people who have no power throughout the whole country because of various natural disasters, and there's so much social inequity and unrest, and so all of these things are happening. So how do we actually go through all the 7 C's and get to comic relief? So we're going to talk about it because it is an important part of these 7 C's. So just a quick reminder, we started with compassion for yourself, for others, being, feeling like you can be human, being committed to those values and the purpose that you have in life will help you so much to be resilient. The connection that you have with others that help support you, and then the connections you have with them, that's your safety net. Curiosity, stepping back, taking that attitude of curiosity and saying, what's really going on here? How can I cope more effectively? Looking at things as a challenge rather than falling into despair. Thinking about what you can control, what you can't control. Can't control the past. We can try to control some things, or at least influence them in the future, but we try to control ourselves, right? And comic relief is a part of that control. So let's figure out how we can use comic relief. Here we are in the midst of all this stuff. And so how do we, people are in the midst of grief. It's been unbelievable, even at my age. I don't think I've ever seen anything like 2020. I'm sure I haven't. And so we're really in the midst of this crucible. And some of us in our neighborhood, the fires have been very close here in California. And there's a real crucible. So I want to go back a little bit in my background, and this is my family in North Dakota. And you can see that my brother is actually flipping off my dad, who was taking a slide. A little bit of rebellion there, but here am I, a child who is not seeing any humor in the situation whatsoever, and I look pretty ticked off, actually. So, but our family has always found humor. You can see my brother Frank in the back on the left laughing because he knows what my brother Larry is doing. So there's a lot of kinds of humor. It's like the I am laughing or crying. This is when you're standing there, you're trying to ambulate your patient, and they immediately have diarrhea all in your new shoes that you've been saving money for because they were the best shoes. And so you finally laugh because what else are you going to do? There's snarky humor. I'm not so sure that that's really humor, but people do use it. The jokes, they're just actual jokes. There's irony. There are many things that we can look at. And so, when I look at this Bristol stool check, I could see that the patient actually had a probably type 6 consistency in that diarrhea that went in my shoes, right? Okay, and then here we are in California. That's our sun, because there's ash falling everywhere. And of course, with this situation, what does Ruth do? But she gets a little bit snarky because, of course, our president said we were supposed to be, out there raking our forests. And I took my broom and my rake. Of course, they're mostly federal forests that are, burning, but climate change and all. But that was my joke. So we also have had many other jokes during this whole time of COVID, and my husband loves Nietzsche. He's a philosopher. So we put Nietzsche in our window so people could look at him holding a roll of empty roll of toilet paper, because people didn't have it at that point. Of course, friends, text me and go, "Do you guys need toilet paper?" No, we actually had toilet paper. It was all, it was all a joke. But then Nietzsche got into our wine cabinet, not good. And then he got into our liquor cabinet. So these are the things that we're doing to try to find humor in the situation. So there's comic relief comes in different ways. So think about, my coaching question for you is, what is so ludicrous it is, or at least could be funny? I'm sure that many times you walk into work and you go, "I cannot believe this," and you laugh, because what else can you do? And so just look for anywhere you can find humor. think about what helps you particularly laugh. Like sometimes we just have to unplug from all the news and everything, and we watch old movies that we like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, just because I've traveled so much. Uh, I howl. I love that. That's a classic. So think about even those kinds of things. Um, Find the places that you can relax and laugh if you can't actually do that in your own home. And then try to appreciate anything that is funny, even if it's that dark humor that we sometimes have in healthcare. Um, and so then also one of the things that I've found humorous is how much baking I've been doing because of course this is Wiener Tarte, which is our Icelandic cake, wedding and Christmas cake. And then I just, I've been posting various pictures of the various things like raspberry pie that I bake, and sometimes it's just a smile is enough. And in Santa Rosa, where we live, Charles Schultz lived here. And so we have lots of Peanuts characters out there. And one of the hospitals, Kaiser, has this outside, be healthy. And so, seeing him with his mask on is really kind of sweet. And it gives you enough of a chance to maybe smile. And, I want to go back to that. Have courage. It's about having courage when there is seemingly no hope around. And sometimes that comes with a laugh, lightening things a little bit. Even at funerals, I can find things to laugh about, and it releases some of that pain and suffering when you think about something the person has done that was so hilarious. So, Charles Darwin, with the survival of the fittest says, don't worry, don't wear masks if they're uncomfortable for you or hot. And don't bother to wash your hands because, survival of the fittest. Sometimes we just go to silliness. And so, I have I was very lonely because of being an extrovert and then being, couldn't go anywhere to start with. And I actually have some friends that I've got to play with. And these are the Instant Pot jokes. Hi, I would wear a mask if you just let me out of here. Hi. Yeah, see, sometimes it's pretty bad around here, I got to tell you. Sometimes there are unexpected incidents that occur. And so we have a community pool, and we were trying to make sure we could use it with COVID. And I was texting the pool committee because I was in charge of setting up the app for our scheduling and, really keeping things clean. And so I dictated a text because I do a lot of dictation to my pool committee. So that, I wanted them to try to trial some reservations and stuff. And so I said, I think we should schedule a slot or something, which then translated autocorrect to hedgehogs copulating. And so I sent that out to everybody. And I didn't realize it because I thought it was fine when I sent it. And of course I got people saying, what's going on in our pool that we don't know about? Okay, that's one of my laughs. And remember, Friedrich said this as well. You must have chaos within you to give birth to a dancing star. So I am hoping that I hold the hope that we are giving birth to a dancing star in our country and in our world. And remember that fear that we have, sometimes it's, real fear about, there's a fire coming and we have to evacuate. But remember that laughter drives out fear. The true self cannot be hurt. And that's what's within you, your soul. Richard Rohr says, and I think that's true. And Goethe said this, and this is one of the quotes that I look at a lot of times when I'm losing hope. And he said, whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now. So thank you for joining me for all 7 of the C's of resilience. And I hope that if you have any questions, you will contact us for any help that you might need, coaching, whatever. Thank you for joining me.